We also have in the legislation direct payments, which were not in the Republican bill, to America's working families. I would like them been bigger, but they are significant, and they will be going out soon.
American legislators reached an agreement in the House and Senate late Sunday on a new $900 billion pandemic relief bill that includes enhanced unemployment benefits and direct cash payments. Debate has been going on for weeks and months now about what to include and what not to include, and how much money should go to the American people, or really how much money should not go to the American people if you are Senator Ron Johnson. According to CNN, in an article titled, "Here's What's in the Second Stimulus Package," direct stimulus checks were brought in at the last minute. So this wasn't even originally supposed to happen. Direct aid to states and liability protections for companies were left out. If the new bill passes, it will be the second largest federal stimulus package after the $2 trillion CARES Act that Congress approved in March. Lawmakers in both chambers are expected to vote Monday and send the bill to President Donald Trump's desk for his signature, just in time to get something done before the end of December, when several aid programs in the CARES Act are set to expire, including key pandemic jobless assistance measures and eviction protections. So what does this new round of stimulus actually include? So I'm sure that's the primary thing people want to know, because you're watching this video. So the package would send direct stimulus payments of $600 to individuals, half the amount provided in the first round of checks that went out in the spring. As with the first round, the payments will only be sent to people below a certain income level, though it wasn't clear Sunday where that would be set. Eligible families would receive an additional $600 per child, which is $100 more, than the Congress gave families in the first round of relief last spring. So I'm going to get back to the whole issue with the stimulus checks in a second. I just want to go down the list here and tell you guys what's actually included in this bill. In terms of unemployment benefits, the jobless would receive a $300 weekly federal enhancement in benefits for 11 weeks from the end of December through mid-March under the new deal. The amount, again, just like with the stimulus checks, is half of the earlier federal boost, which ran out at the end of July. Also, the agreement calls for extensions of two other pandemic unemployment programs that were created in the CARES Act in March. Both are currently set to expire at the end of this week, affecting an estimated 12 million people. So those were the programs that applied to like gig workers, freelancers, independent contractors, and self-employed people who were impacted by COVID-19, right? So in both cases, in the case of the stimulus check and the unemployment benefits, the UI benefits, which, to be honest with you, certain people still didn't even get the first round of payments because their respective states, their systems were so backlogged and so broken by design, in many cases, because they've been taking an axe to UI benefits for years now, But in both cases, they're providing half of what they did before. Makes absolutely no sense as to why that is the case. There are more people who are impacted by COVID-19 now than there was back when they did it in March originally. So why are you giving people less money? That makes absolutely no sense. They can't actually rationalize this stuff even when they try. When it comes to small business loans, the bill would reopen the Paycheck Protection Program so that some of the hardest hit small businesses can apply for a second loan. And now check this out for rental assistance. The bill would extend until January 31st the eviction protection set to expire at the end of the year. It also would provide $25 billion in rental assistance for individuals who lost their source of income during the pandemic. So for the people, because you've probably seen this a lot on social media about all of the millions of people who are about to be kicked out of their homes because of this expiration that was supposed to kick in at the end of the year. But this new package extends that at least until the end of January for 1 month. Do with it what you will. And there are some other things as well. There are some things about, SNAP benefits. They haven't increased the eligibility for SNAP benefits, but if you are eligible to get those stamps, they are increasing benefits by 15% for 6 months. Then there's something in there for vaccine funding, but the point of all of this is that this package is woefully insufficient. So here, what are my opinions on all of this? There are no heroes in this story, not the Democrats and not the Republicans. I mean, we know the GOP doesn't give a crap about American suffering. We know this because half of them are more pressed on doing a Trump coup than they actually are protecting lives. If they actually cared about protecting lives, they wouldn't have forced people back out into the elements during a pandemic, right? Which is why there are so many people who have died from COVID-19 in this country. That is directly due to the negligence and the illegitimate leadership of the United States. Okay, they tell us in a dozen different ways that they don't really care about us like that. But Democrats like to play the good cop to the Republican bad cop, right? We know people have been demanding a new round of stimulus for months now, and both sides have been like that Spider-Man meme, pointing the finger at the opposite side when y'all are both wearing the same Wall Street bought clothes, okay? The U.S. Congress is saying clear as day, let them eat cake. Okay, that's exactly what they're saying. $600 is a slap in the face. Let them eat cake is actually trending right now on social media. But $600 is a slap in the face. People have shown comparisons online about what other countries are doing for their people versus what the United States government has done, and it is shameful, right? Some of those numbers are a little off, but the point is other countries are doing more than what the United States is doing. Take a look at this clip from Nancy, or take a look at this clip with.
We also have in the legislation direct payments, which were not in the Republican bill, to America's working families. I would like them been bigger, but they are significant, and they will be going out soon.
She said, I would like them, or I would have liked for it to be bigger.
I would like them been bigger, but they are significant.
But they are significant. $600 to Nancy Pelosi is significant. Come again? $1,200 was barely enough. It would have been better as a monthly UBI. I think people would have accepted that a little bit more. But a $1,200 one-time payment was absolutely nothing. $600 doesn't cover rent for most people, especially if you're living in a major U.S. city. You see, this is the problem with having rich people, millionaires, running your government. Groups like the Pentagon and the ultra-rich have made a killing during the pandemic. Take a look at this tweet from Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Okay, she was responding to a tweet from someone named Hugo Lowell, who said, just in, Senator Ron Johnson blocks $1,200 stimulus checks and next coronavirus relief package after railing on the Senate floor against increasing the national debt. Okay, and that was his excuse, and quote, mortgaging our children's future. No, you know what mortgaging your children's future is, you know what that looks like? That looks like what Pramila Jayapal says. She says, where was this concern when they passed $2 trillion in tax cuts for corporations and the ultra-rich? Or how about when they approved a bloated $740 billion Pentagon budget? So the Pentagon gets $740 billion, one group. And I know they do that for a lot of different people, but one group got $740 billion. The American people got $600. Okay? A slap in the face, like I said. Look, when are we taking to the streets, y'all? They only do this because they know most Americans will accept it. A nation that actually values its people doesn't do their citizens like this. Not when they have the capital to do a whole lot more. Okay? They could be doing a UBI. Even if the UBI was temporary and just short term for a year, right? What if they had done that back in March? They don't want to do that because they don't want to accept that progressive policies are the best policies. And they are more committed to their centrist, center-right, and sometimes just right-wing status quo that they're prepared to sacrifice people in order to maintain that status quo. But my name is Brian Lewis. This story got me worked up today. But how did it make you feel? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below.